Okay, we got another project. Let's see if I can get the light coloration better. Let me shut the garage door. That is not doing us good. So we have a Husqvarna push mower. My aunt actually owns this, and she had someone come out and look at it. I'm using my phones right now. And I don't know who she hired or what she did, but she had someone come out. He sprayed starting fluid while she cranked it, and it fired. And then he proceeded to tell her, it's not the carburetor, it's something else. So she called me up, and now I'm here digging into this little mower and seeing what's wrong. I do have my suspicions. It's sat for 4 years, so it's probably got bad gas, and it needs the carburetor cleaned up. Ooh, I should heat my ultrasonic cleaner. And it's heated, or heating. So I think what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna kind of just do a little overall assessment. I'm gonna first see what compression's like. We're then gonna check for spark, make sure we have spark. And then after that, we're gonna dump a little bit of 2-stroke fuel into the cylinder and get it to fire, just to confirm that it is in fact something fuel related, not loss of spark or loss of compression. Plus we'll be able to hear if there's a rod knock or anything like that, because it has sat and there's a lot of different things that could go wrong in sitting for 4+ years. So with that being said, I think the first thing we'll do is we'll verify compression, which is pretty simple. We're just gonna pull it and see. And it does have quite a bit of resistance, which makes me feel like there is compression. So after that, we're gonna check spark, which right down here is the spark plug. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull it out real quick and then put it up against the body of the exhaust up here. Is that right? Yeah, there it is. Yeah. Okay. I need like a parking brake for this thing. And we're going to be looking on the spark plug right around here to see if we have spark. I'm going to have to get a vice grip. It never hurts to clamp your plug. Just be cautious. Like, this is literally just to hold the plug in position while I'm cranking. And we'll zoom you in. We're focusing right there at the tip. You should see spark. And I'm hoping I can keep you in frame. Ooh. Okay, no spark. Probably because I had the kill switch disengaged. I hear it. I see it too. So that's good. And it spins freely, which is really nice. I hope you guys saw it. It should be coming from, where's my finger? Right there at the tip of the vice grips. So next thing that we're gonna do is, let me zoom you out real quick. I got some 2-stroke oil in a bottle. I'm gonna, we're just preventing it from moving, so that way you guys stay in frame better. I'm gonna clamp the front wheels so it moves less. Makes life easier for me and for you. There's the cylinder. We're just shooting in a little bit. Then we're gonna put the spark plug in. And I am, because I'm fairly confident in it being a carburetor issue, I am gonna snug this up before it gets forgotten. This spark plug socket's just not the right size. It works, it just does not fit over it. There we go. Nice and snug. Alright. Now, turn it off. Let's see if it runs. Ooh, it sounded like it wanted to. I do not know why it's not wanting to kick off. So what I'm going to do, instead of pulling the spark plug back out, I'm going to take the intake off, the boots off, and I'm just going to put a little bit more fuel in the carburetor. That way, because I may not have given it enough, it's hard to see with that bottle I have. This also will guarantee. Yep. Just needed a little bit of extra fuel. So, with that being said, let me get you reoriented so that way you can see the actual carburetor and not staring at the other side of the mower. And then we'll tear it apart and we'll see if we can see exactly what is preventing this mower from starting up easily or running. Because it should run. I'm pretty sure it's got fuel in it. I didn't actually check that. I checked the oil. And the smoke that blew out is because I used two-stroke gas because I don't want to put straight fuel into the cylinder if there's any like rust. There's actually some oil in that fuel to help protect it. So, let me bring you back when I get you set up. All right, now I got you set up. We're gonna take off this intake cover, which does have a gasket right here on the carburetor. I'm gonna leave it for right now because I don't really want to damage it. So we have what looks like a fuel line right here. You have your choke right here, and this is your actual throttle, which it messes with the choke at the same time. So what I'm gonna do is just yank the carburetor off, so it just gives me easier access. So this spring, okay, I gotta get pliers. Gotta get pliers for this. And I hope I'm not blocking your view, because I mean I can barely see at this point. So there's that. This guy gets twisted up, and it should just pop out like that. And last one looks like I need to pull the fuel line off first, because it's like a hook, so it bends back around itself. Which I need different pliers for the fuel line. My 45-degree needle nose pliers make life easy for getting into places like this. So you'll just get in and whoop. I probably should have made sure I had a plug for this real quick. I'm just gonna probably spill a bunch of fuel, but I can put a head of the bolts in the garbage can. Before it dumps all the fuel out onto my floor. I'm sorry you can't see. It's not a good spot to drain this fuel. Oh, maybe. There you go. I think you can see that. It doesn't smell too bad, but I think my aunt said the guy she hired to come out, she said he replaced the spark plug, which I do not believe him. He did a general tune-up on it, which I don't believe because the plug is nasty, the air filter isn't new, and I bet you he just dumped new fuel on this and called it good, which is not going to solve your issue. It's just going to mask the problem, and you're going to have to dispose of more nasty old fuel rather than small amounts of bad fuel. Well, that's all I got out. Not too much, not too bad. Put this over out of the way. And grab a rag. Grab a rag to soak up all this oil so that way it doesn't, or gas, so that way it doesn't destroy something or catch fire. And from here you can see you gotta bend it 90 degrees to get that off. It looks like this gasket's coming off. Cool. So there's our carburetor. That's your throttle plate. That's your choke plate right there, which gets affected by the throttle. And your little bowl, it's got some fuel in it. So let's bring it to the bench real quick. Let me get you set up there, and then we'll tear into this and see exactly what caused it. Because I bet you there's a clogged main jet. Alrighty, so got my carb here. I'm gonna take off these springs. Yeah, I can take that one off easy. Just so I don't break them. Okay, so just so I remember, because I might have to watch this video. Long one is choke, short is for the throttle. The solution I am soaking the carburetor in is a vinegar, 50-50 vinegar solution, so it's not going to damage anything. Because it's just not that corrosive compared to like the carb clean that you can get from like O'Reilly's or Amazon that actually like will strip stuff. So that's the main jet. Man, that's clean. Yeah, someone's definitely messed with this. So let's see, what can we do? There's not a whole lot to adjust in these or tweak with, just mainly clean them off and clean them and put them back together. Two-stroke, or not two-stroke, but lawnmower carbs in general are just very simplistic and don't have a lot of parts to them. Like this doesn't even have an idle jet. This is just straight up like full throttle, like running. So nothing crazy. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull this needle and seat apart. Got no fuel in there. I really don't want to push that. So down in the middle of your carburetor, there's a little tube. So this is, actually I should step back a second. So you have your main jet going through your emulsion tube, which basically takes the liquid gas and makes it a misting vapor that can be pulled through your carburetor. And that tube has little orifices on it, and a lot of times they get clogged. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna hose this down with brake clean real quick, like spraying it down the main jet and the idle jet, because there's a secondary orifice in there. And then I'm gonna put it in my ultrasonic cleaner with my vinegar mix, and I'm gonna try to just get it to where it's cleaner, and it will just, like, I mean, I might see some gook coming out of the, when I brake clean it, but for right now, this is the sum of what you can touch on these carburetors. They're just so simplistic. So let me grab brake clean, and we will blow through the orifice. Oop, let me get you out of the way. Okay, there's one orifice in here I can't seem to blow through. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the ultrasonic cleaner, we're gonna put it in there, and we're gonna see what happens afterwards. I got a little basket here for my quick parts. Let me actually blow this out real quick. Just so that way it's extra clean. So I have my needle in there. I'm going to put my little leg in there. Got all this. There's no other gaskets on this carburetor. It's just going to clean it up, make it nice and pretty. And we're going to let it soak in the ultrasonic cleaner and run for about half an hour, and we're gonna watch what it comes out as. You saw what it went in as, now you're gonna see what it comes out. I'm gonna actually change something and do something different. Strain all the vinegar. So my two springs I have, I'm gonna also put them in there because I want to make sure that everything is nice and pristine for when I go back, that it just does not cause an issue. Because if I don't fix it now, Lord knows I'm gonna end up having to go back in it and do everything again. Kind of like my last video, one of my last videos was that Suzuki GZ250, and I was in that carburetor 4 or 5 times, I think. So I know I'm gonna mess up, and I mean, I'm not an expert. I kind of just go through it and look for problems and basically brute force my way through things a lot of times. So with that, I'm gonna turn you guys off, let this thing go for about 30 minutes, and then bring you back once it's nice and cooked. So thanks for joining me thus far. All right, well, we're done. I'm just gonna blow off the carb a little bit with this brake clean, just to clean up the parts. A little bit extra, get rid of any vinegar look to it, because you can see that vinegar curve like charted a little bit. I'm just gonna blow out the orifices. Just to make sure that it's nice and clean, because I want this thing to function. Alright, I need to blow this out. I need to blow this actually out with air now, so. I'll bring you guys right back. Actually, let me show you real quick. Nice and clean, eh? I'll bring you right back once I blow it out with air. All right, so let's begin reassembly of this carburetor real quick. And then let's get back on the mower and see if it'll start and run like it should. I'm gonna put this O-ring back. Get him back in place. Man, the spring's cleaned up real good. Nice and clean now, which is nice. Nice to have for your mower, because it's so simple. Oop, I dropped my O-ring. Let me get this in first before I do that. All right. Put the bowl back together. And then I need to get my washer on my little jet plug. Get him threaded in. And cinch him down. All right, that's the carburetor. Actually, we're gonna get this put back together. So the way that this went was it went bottom right here, up and over. Sorry, you can't see because I'm just fighting this spring. And clip. There's that. And then this guy just goes right here on the throttle plate. Man, it's hard sometimes working gloves, but it's so nice to not have to scrub your hands for hours upon end to get this old gas smell / the vinegar smell out of your hands. It's a trade-off. So with that being said, this thing is reassembled. Let's get you set up back looking at the mower, and then we will put it on and run it and see if it actually fixed the problem. So I'm gonna wipe down this O-ring and kind of clean the surface a little bit, just to prevent any debris from falling in. No, technically you should shove a rag inside there, but it's not like it's a vertical falling in like it would be on like a valve inside of your engine. So I'm not crazy concerned. This goes right here. Right there. And then, let me actually wipe this off real quick. Just clean this part. Make it nice and pretty. Because this is how it goes with that. We have these bolts. Oh man, you guys can't even see, I bet. Because this thing's just in the way. Alrighty. I'm just gonna have it loosely bolted. I'll come back in a minute with the final. Come on. we go. And then technically should have been done. Yeah, I already bent that. I knew that was gonna bend easy. All right, we're gonna bend it and then I'll bend it back. It's not perfect, but it'll do. So yeah, there's that. Still functions properly. Closed, open, open, open. Yep. So there's that. I got, whew, that gas does smell bad. Got no extra fuel in there right now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna re-hook up the fuel line. And because what this other portion that we took off initially is only there for, what do you call it? The air filter system and the PCV, which is this hose. I don't particularly care if it's on or off right now because I'm just gonna see if it runs. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna dump fuel in here and see, or can you even see? You can barely see, yeah, into the gas tank. And then we're gonna set you up and we're gonna crank it and see if it starts, which theoretically it should. It's all nice and clean now. Good orifices, good moving of fuel. So yeah, let me come back in a minute. All right, I got the fuel. It's just regular 87 octane. I don't want to put a whole lot in there because I don't want to have it leak out and lose all my fuel. But I think right now, fuel should be on. Oh man, I took off that hose. I didn't put that clamp back. So hopefully that's gonna actually, before I do anything, let's tighten up these bolts for this intake. Just because I don't want it to be an issue. Because I don't want to forget that. So, put this back on. Let's see if she'll kick off. I would definitely say the carburetor was dirty and needed to be cleaned, just because of how easy that started. So let's get this put back together. This little air filter box, and then we will go test it on my front yard because I actually do need to mow my yard, which will be perfect. This little filter box has 3 little dowels that make life easy to hold it in place. So we're gonna do these. And then I want my socket set. Last but not least, I need a new filter. If she wants me to, I'll go buy a new filter from Ace or something like that. I don't think that's causing the issue. Because it actually looks relatively clean for the age. So. Alrighty. Let's go and pop the garage open and go take a peek and watch this thing mow. So I'll bring you back when we get you set up at the yard. Alrighty, I know it's hard to see how high it is right now. I'm gonna adjust the height on this thing because I don't really want to mow this again for a minute. So let's mow. Did we lose oil? Give me 1 second to check the oil, because I feel like the fact that it's burning that much oil says something is wrong with the actual motor itself. Oh, that's why. I don't know if you guys will be able to pick this up in the picture. Do you see how much is liquid? This is way overfilled. I just checked to make sure there was oil earlier. I didn't care about level. I just wanted it to be full. So let's bring this in real quick and dump it out. And then I'll bring you back once it's actually at the right level, so that way we're not burning crap load of oil. I also want to look at the drive belt because it's not exactly wanting to push forward. So give me a minute to finish this up, and then I'll be back and I'll finish up this little bit right here and then mow there and show you it. So, all right, we're gonna have at it again. Oil level is correct. I just put some Rotella T6 I had in my garage in it, and I just a little slack adjust her on this the walking assist. So let's get it started and go again. Raise the height. It's too dang low. Woohoo! Backfire. Well, let's get you set up right where you can see it. It works. It runs a lot better with the correct amount of oil in it, a good clean carb, and I think the blade's loose because it sounds like it underneath, or something underneath is kind of rattling. But I'll address it when I get before I give it back to my aunt. But for right now, I'm gonna call it quits. Thanks for watching with me and wrenching in the garage. Thanks for helping me bring this back for my aunt. I hope she's gonna enjoy it. If you guys don't mind, leave a like, comment. I like hearing the impact or the feedback on things. I've had a lot of guys comment on my Ford tractor videos, on my generator videos, on the motorcycle videos, golf cart videos. I love the inputs. I love just hearing from people about it because it's always fun to hear and be involved in the community, essentially. So with that, I do hope you guys like, comment, and subscribe on the video so I can keep feeling like I should be making these videos, because sometimes it's kind of hard knowing like, well, it only gets 50 views or something like that. But I do enjoy making them. I do enjoy the feedback. It makes me really happy when people comment. With that, I'm gonna call it quits, and if you don't mind, subscribe to the channel and like this video. Thanks guys. Toodaloo.